All right. So actually, I think I want to move this. Hopefully that works. Okay. So you're going to want to get into Cengage and go to your assignments. I don't know how you get there and get your assignments, but however you usually do that. There's no time limit on this chapter 7, so it's okay to go ahead and open it up. Let's see. Actually, it says final project, short version. So it doesn't say chapter 7 on there, but it's a final project, short version. All right. So what you're going to see, it looks like all the other assignments where you got your tabs on the left-hand side. We have one. Okay, so the first one is the tutorial. You're going to go through that, and it's to help get you familiar with how it all works. Okay, but you do have 1, 2, 3 payrolls and then end of year entries that you're going to have to make, like journal entries that you're going to want to make. We're going to go through journal entries in chapter 6. So that will help you with that one. But I want you to click on the tutorial right now. And let's see, click on that, open general ledger problem. All right, so I'm not going to skip the tour. I'm going to show you the tour. So this is, the company is GlowBright, and this is a simulation of payroll entries for a general ledger type program. Okay. What you're going to see on the left here, this is the assignment panel. So all of the instructions for whatever the assignment is, and each of these payroll periods have several assignments associated with them. Okay, so there might be like 10 or 15 different assignments, things that you have to do, but they guide you and tell you step by step what you need to do. When you start doing this, it's going to be confusing, but you're going to get to the hang of it. Okay, so first thing, the assignment panel provides instructions, source documents, and tools to guide you through the assignment. You see right down here, source documents. So for this one, ensure that the system date at the top of the screen is November 20th, 2024. So that's right here, up here. You would make sure that that is correct. Now, I can't click on this because this is just kind of a tutorial. It shows you where everything is, but when I'll go through and click on some of these things as well. This date will be used as a default date throughout the assignment. You may change the system date using the calendar, so you would be able to click on this, or by entering a date using the date format right here. Use this button, this one right here, to expand or collapse the panel and increase your work area. So all of your entries and everything are going to happen here. All of your instructions are over here on the right. Read the instructions displayed on the assignment panel to complete the assignment. You can browse through the instructions by selecting the previous or next button, or by using the drop-down menu, which is right here. So you can look at the different instructions, go back, go forward, go back, whatever you want to do. Source documents. So source documents represent real-world documents that you will refer to in order to complete the assignment. Use this button to open the source documents for this assignment. Here. So this is what a source document might look like. They may be referenced in the instructions on the assignment panel. Use the source documents and the detailed instructions that accompany the source documents to record entries. Drag the bottom right corner of the panel. Right here, you can drag it to make it bigger or smaller. I don't think I can do it on this one because it's just an example, but the title bar may be dragged to reposition, so you can drag this all over. You can, just like any other, computer program, you can expand it, you can make it smaller, however is comfortable for you. To reposition the window anywhere on the screen so that you can read and perform the task at the same time. The top of the panel contains options to browse through all the documents. So there's instructions up here about the documents, and then over here there's a tab to actually access the documents. The bottom of the panel contains options to zoom, print, and download the document. So you could download it and print it out if you wanted to. It might make life easier. It would be more representative of real life to do it that way. There's a calculator. You can also use a calculator on your computer or on your phone, whatever, but there is a calculator here included. Save the assignment to resume it later. It's important that you save it. So before you exit, if you're done, you're doing some work on it, stepping away, save it so that you can come back and everything's there. After completing all the steps of the assignment, use the Submit button to submit your work for grading. Be careful. Don't hit Submit when you really meant to save, right? If you're just saving it, you're coming back to this section, hit Save. Don't hit Submit. Okay, don't hit Submit until you're done with that whole part of the assignment. Check is an assignment option controlled by your, okay, so you do have some check, I think I've got 5 in there, so some check work in there. What it does is it pulls up a summary report and it tells you where you got things right and where you got things wrong. It doesn't tell you specifically, it just says, hey, this amount is wrong. And so you got to go back and figure out, what did I do to mess it up, right? So like if it will tell you the total payroll amount. If you're off by $10, it'll just be an X mark next to it saying you're off. So you did something, you'd want to go back and look at what you did before, okay? You can use check at any time to check and update the score. Additional options, select this menu to view supplementary options, such as resizing instruction, text size, and general instructions. You can also launch this tutorial at any time. So if you forget where something is or how to do something, you can go back to this tutorial. So help is always available. Use this button to access help on each topic. So that's right here, this question mark. The simulation area. So in this simulation area, you perform the tasks according to the instructions. Now, you'll see over here on the left-hand side, there are different tabs. And each of these tabs means something. So this is like the payroll tab, and it's, they're handing money out. That's the payroll tab. That's the banking tab. So if you have to enter something into payroll, if it says, okay, you're going to prepare payroll for November 18th, well, you're going to follow the instructions, but you're going to probably be in the payroll section or payroll tab. Okay. Modules tab. Modules. Okay, so this menu over here lists the modules used in this simulation. Use it to go to any module. Use the back arrow to collapse the menu and increase your work area. So you can go here to scooch it out of the way or to open it up, but you can see, so banking, company, payroll, reports are in there as well. So this is what it looks like collapsed. And if you want to open it up, you just click the 3 bars. The selected module is highlighted. So whichever one is selected is highlighted there. Up at the top, so you'll see, here's the modules over here. Within each module, it displays different tasks and activities within each module. So for example, this is the general ledger module. In a general ledger, you would maintain accounts, so your chart of accounts and that sort of thing, maybe a list of customers, a list of vendors as well. All of those things would be there, but there are several items across the top here for each module. So each item from the top menu, so you can see all the different, and this would just be for the general ledger. I'm sorry, for the general ledger module. These would be the items that are options. For payroll, it would be a different list up here. Each item from the top menu is launched in a window. Again, you can resize the window any way you want. Again, just by going down to the bottom. You can drag it around as well. The top of the panel contains options to close, minimize, or launch the help file. So you can go there as well. Down here is where you add a new entry. So if you're in there and it says you're going to enter a journal entry, you go down to the bottom, add a new entry. Same thing the same thing for the payroll module. So if you're paying an employee, there's a button down here to add a new payment. Okay. Use the Windows button at the bottom down here of the simulation area to display all the open windows in a list. So if you've got a bunch of open windows and you can't remember what they are that are open, you can look at a list of what you have open. Use the dashboard to review data in graph form. In the normal course of the assignment, you may not be instructed to view the dashboard. I don't think this assignment has any point where it says you need to view the dashboard. It's just reports that are viewed graphically. So there might be pie charts in there and all different kinds of. Toggle between panels. So you can use shortcuts if you want. Control F2 toggles between the assignment panel and the simulation area. Control F3 toggles between the assignment panel and the source document. You don't have to toggle, you don't have to use those if you don't want. There are ways to navigate without having to use those. All right, so here's a summary of what you're going to be doing. So in this project, you're employed by Glow Bright Paint Company as the payroll accountant. Your work involves maintaining employee information, paying employees, generating payroll and payroll tax entries, and recording entries to pay payroll taxes and dues to fund the payroll account. Assume that the payroll records, tax reports, and deposits have been completed and filed for the prior periods, and the beginning balances reflect all payroll entries made for the year to date. So there's already entries in there. You're going to be adding to them. Follow the instructions displayed on the assignment panel and in the source documents. Remember, they're here. Make updates to the payroll and general ledger systems as required. Other modules are grayed out and are not available in this simulation. So like I said, we've got the payroll module and we've got the general ledger module. There's only two that are available to use. So that just cuts down on the confusion. The first assignment is a tutorial with step-by-step instructions and images of completed reports at every step of the process. The payroll system uses the 2023 annualized percentage method tables for automated payroll systems to compute federal income taxes. Did you hear that? The system is going to compute the federal income taxes for you. This will produce amounts slightly different from amounts in the wage bracket tables used in Chapter 7. Also, 1 to 2 cent differences will occur throughout the solution because of rounding differences. So you can always select help up here. You can access these instructions at any time by going up here to the little gear. Your work will automatically be saved at regular intervals. You may also use the save button at the bottom of the assignment panel. I recommend you use that save button frequently. Because yes, the system will auto-save, but in my experience with students last semester when we did this, there were some issues with, they didn't hit the save, but then they exited, and then their work was saved to a point, but not entirely. So just remember to hit that save button stuff. You may check your work if there's a check at the bottom of the assignment panel, which there would be. You'll be shown the items checked, errors found, extra items, missing items, and total graded items. All items are checked. Only payroll transactions and general ledger balances are graded. To correct errors, go back to the previous steps and check your work. Because grading is based on payroll transactions and showing correct ending balances in the general ledger, you may change and repost payroll entries and add new general journal entries. Incorrect entries can be deleted from the general journal, using the trash. Otherwise, you may start over by selecting the gears and reset at the bottom of the company information sheet. I had students do that last semester where there were so many errors, it was just best for them to start that module over, that piece over, and so they would do that. Usually that was early in the assignment when everybody's just getting used to the program. From the company module, select company setup and company information. If you reset, all progress within the assignment will be lost and the system will be restored to default settings. When you're comfortable that you completed all the steps of the assignment correctly, select the submit button. If your assignment was set up with feedback after your take, you will be provided with a detailed report showing general ledger accounts, payroll data, and payroll transactions. The report can be filtered to show only incorrect balances. Correct balances are indicated with a green check. Balances in error will show a red cross. Okay, so now we're in here. We did that tutorial. If you wanted to go back to that, you could go up here, general instructions. So it's telling us, ensure that the system date at the top of the screen is November 20th. It is. If we needed to change it, we could pull it up here and change it. This date will be used as a default through the assignment. You may change the system date by using that. Or by entering a date, you could also just go here and enter a different date if you wanted. So we've done number 1. We'll go to number 2. From the General Ledger module, select Account List. So this is, we're already in the General Ledger module over here. Select Account Lists and Chart of Accounts. Here's our Chart of Accounts. This Chart of Accounts includes accounts used in payroll entries and a capital account to balance the accounts. Actual company would have more than payroll accounts in the Chart of Accounts, obviously, but this one only has payroll accounts. Review the account names and classifications. You'll use these accounts in journal entries, and they will be used in system-generated payroll entries. If you wanted to print this out, you could, so that you could have it handy while you're working on this. All right. Next up. Edit employee information. From the payroll module, which is right here, select tasks and maintain employees. All right, this is where you could add an employee. So scroll down to employee number 180. Actually, there's already one in here, 180. And enter your own name in the employee field and leave the other fields as is. All right, so there we go. I entered that. And then save. Oh, actually, do it this way. Save. We'll save there. Okay. Next up, display the employee list report. So here's reports, employee list. Verify the name change on employee number 180 from the previous instruction. Make any corrections via the maintain employees. All right, there I am. Kelly Murphy, that's what I just entered. So I don't have to make any changes there. Enter the payroll transactions for November 20th, beginning with check number 703. refer to source document number 2. Here's our source documents. And this again is where you might want to print these out so that unless you got multiple, if you can move it over to another monitor, you could do that too. Refer to source document number 2, employees to be paid this pay period. And the detailed instructions. So here's our instructions. So from the payroll module, select reports and employee list to view this report. Check that the employee name has changed on employee number 180 from your student name. There's a list up here too of different source documents. So this is source document number 1, and they're asking us to refer to source document number 2 up at the top. All right, so this is what everybody was paid. Let's see here. Employees to be paid this pay period. So we are paying, let's see, tasks. We're going to go to pay employees. So we can have this up, and we're going to add. So you'll go in, smaller. Yeah, so we'll select the employee. So we've got, I know that's hard to see him. Salary, bonus, regular hours. He worked 64 hours. He had no overtime, but he had group insurance, let's see, of $1,650. I'm sorry, group insurance. Union dues of $8 and no simple contributions. Calculate taxes. See there, it does it all for you. Isn't that beautiful? So you just go down to the button to calculate the taxes. For a salaried employee, is that yeah, it would calculate the taxes for you. Yeah. So as long as everything is already. Yep. Then we add another one. So yes. And as long as, like, sometimes you'll have to, you'll have frequent updates on those programs for taxes every time taxes get updated. So we have Ferguson, and they are salaried, and it says regular salary. So it's just in there. It knows what the salary is, $22.50. And then we also have group insurance of $26.40. No union dues, but simple contributions of $500. And then again, calculate taxes. And it does it for you. So you would follow this document here and enter all of this in. Now you'll see here, like Russell, salary must be reduced here, loss of 2 hours. So you'd want to put in, you might have to override that salary and put in the $11.70.
I put in 62 for that.
64?
62, because he lost 2 hours. And I changed 1,200 to what it said, 1,007.
Okay.
Because the next one, 800.
Yeah. And some of them are hours and some of them are salaried or hourly and salary. So these source documents, just be careful and make sure you realize you've got several source documents up here that you'll have to go through. That was one thing that last semester as well, a lot of students kind of didn't realize that drop down was up there. And they're like, I can't find this. Where is it? So, all right. That gives you a little introduction to it. Start playing around with it. It isn't due until the 8th, which is like the very fun. I can't give you an extension beyond that because I got to get grades in right after that. but start playing around with it. Also, during the